So we are going to make a video about the 23rd Psalm now that Trump has been elected President of the United States. uh, Shit just got real. um, Now there is officially nowhere else to put your hope other than Jesus Christ. Um, if you want to put aside the fact that I'm the Messiah, that's just fine with me for now. Let's just focus on Jesus Christ and the fact that there was a Jesus Christ, okay? There has been ample evidence to substantiate that claim. The Case for Christ, go see God's Not Dead 2, go see that movie. There was a Jesus Christ, and he said some stuff, you know? And it was written down. And most of it makes perfect sense when you look at all the other literature that talks about reclaiming your divinity. It matches right up. That's what I was shocked to find as a light worker. I was truly shocked to find that the information that I had learned in metaphysics about reclaiming your divinity matched up with what Jesus was saying. And I was like, this guy had it going on. So, yeah, if we don't want to talk about the fact that I'm Jesus Christ reborn, that's fine. Let's just talk about Jesus Christ and what he said and what it means. And especially what it means for you all who have just participated in the United States election. And really, the President of the United States, let's face it, is pretty much the most powerful human being on earth, the most influential human being on earth. So, yeah, you just made Trump your king. So, if I were you, I would vote for Jesus as my king because he's the only king that can trump Trump. That's your new message, Russell. That's your new platform. Jesus Christ trumps all. All right, so let's all really cozy up to the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. All right, I didn't realize that this little Gideon Bible is not the King James Version. So this is just slightly different. You know, the these and the thous have been taken out. But it suffices for our purposes. So let's talk about what this means, since it seems like nobody I know knows what this means. The churches aren't teaching what this means. Or they're not, well, obviously, they're not inspiring faith in what it means because they're not actually walking the way Jesus Christ walked. So instead of actually walking the way Jesus Christ walks, the people who come to church walk the way the pastors walk. And that pisses Jesus off. Okay, the extent to which that I care about my hair, the reason I fidget with it, is because I don't want it to distract from the message. So of course, Talia's giving me this crazy hair that I'm having to deal with. So if I play with my hair, that's why. I'm not vain. I just don't want it distracting from the message. All right. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Okay. Well, what that means is that it doesn't matter what anyone else does. Talia, and let's use Jesus, because Russell, as you step forward, the first thing you're going to do is turn people's eyes to Jesus Christ. And you're going to teach them who Jesus Christ really was and what his message really was, because the churches have kind of fallen on that one. They've dropped that ball. And so it's up to you to teach them who Jesus really was and what his message really was, and to model Jesus' behavior, which is why Jesus came. Jesus came to model the behavior of a divine human. He was not a divine human. He was not human, just as I'm not human. We can put aside who I am and just focus on the fact that Jesus Christ was not human. He was in human form. He had 25% human DNA, which allowed him to look like a human and feel like a human. But he wasn't human. He was divine and perfect, and so he was without flaw. And he demonstrated how a divine human should walk in order to access the mind of God and the powers of God and to reclaim their own divinity. So that was his mission. And that is the only way out of this clusterfuck. You've got to reclaim your divinity. You have to go into the kingdom of heaven now. You have to be dragged into the kingdom of heaven now, kicking and screaming out of your hell. Because that's over. That's over. Living like that is over. You have chosen yourself right out of existence with your choices. And you've got to start waking up to the fact that you are gods. Down here, you are gods. Gods and goddesses. Okay? You are fractals of the all. So you are little divine fractals down here playing human. And Jesus Christ is the God who made you. And God made Jesus Christ to make you. So that's the hierarchy of God, Christ, human. So Jesus Christ trumps all, because Christ's job is to write reality. And you know, if you write a story, you're the author. So your characters can't disobey you. Your characters can't just decide to not do what you wrote for them in scene 24. They're your characters, and they will do everything you want them to do. So nothing trumps Talia. Talia is the name of the Christ Oversoul. That's the real name of Christ as she is known in the heavens. She sent down a divine aspect of herself in Jesus Christ. So he was a divine aspect of the Christ Oversoul, Talia. And Talia trumps all. Talia is the author. Talia wrote everything. And so, you know, if I'm the hero of this story that Talia wrote, and I am because I am Talia, and if I'm the hero of the story, then I win no matter how ugly the villain gets. I wrote it. I've written a lot of MKs, and there have been some really nasty villains in those MKs, and Mulder always wins. Mulder is always the winner in the stories that I write. And I will always be the winner in the stories that Talia writes. So, yeah, and I created you guys as Talia. And so I know how to create a world. I know how you should act down here because I created you. So I know exactly the very best way that you guys can have a really good time down here. Because this is my game. And I can give you absolutely perfect ideas for systems to replace every retarded system that you've got going on down here. I am reclaiming that word. I feel kind of a little nervous about this because I know how important this is, and so my heart's kind of beating fast. I feel like I sound a little funny. Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to that. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Okay? My sustenance doesn't come from the world. No. My sustenance comes from Talia because she writes whatever she wants to send me. And she sends it however she wants to send it. And she wrote the whole story so she can deliver it any way she wants. Any way at all. I mean, you know, I'm still wearing a pair of jeans, the very first pair of jeans that I got upon my arrival to Humboldt. I had been wearing the same pair of jeans for 2 months, and they were 2 sizes too big. And when I arrived at the cabins, Brittany, was watching me, and she's like, I think you're a lot smaller than you think you are, and try these jeans on. And she gave me a whole sack full of clothes. And I looked at those jeans, size 8, and I went, that's really sweet of you, Brittany, but those aren't going to fit me. And she is very forceful when she gives you pants, and she really wants you to try them on. And so she talked me into trying them on, and they fit perfectly. And it's really interesting because they're totally like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants because they fit me when I was really thin, and they are fitting me now when I'm getting tubby. So they, like, the way they're designed, they're perfect pants. They're the divine pants. And I never wear any other pants. Even though I've bought jeans since I got here, I don't wear them because these are magic pants. These are my magic Jesus pants. Anyway, you know that whole verse about, you don't have to worry about what clothes you're going to wear. I'll clothe you. That was perfect, because she did. I walked in, she gave me those pants for free. Those are my Jesus pants. So, that's what it means when the Lord is your shepherd. You shall not want. Talia can send you something anytime. Somebody can give you a pair of pants. I've been given everything. I mean, everything. That's the whole point, is that when I started this mission, it became the only way that I can be supported is in gifts. I'm not allowed to charge for anything I ever do as long as I live. So the only way I can be supported is with gifts from friends, family, and the world at large, the universe. And so I'm supported on gifts from Talia through people and institutions. I got the disability. She made me apply for disability a 3rd time, even though they had turned me down twice. But I was to claim that I was disabled from being anything but the Messiah, and to explain that if I go against God's will, she will knock me unconscious. And I got it. So that's how she's sustaining me, and food stamps. And my mother's letting me stay here, and she feeds me a meal a day, and I eat the food here anyway. And all of my loved ones, got me the van. They all pitched in to get me that van. So she supplies my needs. All right, so he makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. Yeah, I was led all the way through Humboldt. I never knew where I was going to be sleeping and how I was going to pay for it or anything. And I was just led from one place to lay my head to another. And so she is the one who will always lead me to where she wants me to lay my head. And so she's the only one I worry about looking to, because everything comes from her. So I don't have to look to the faucets that she uses to bring me the water. I look to her to bring me water. Then I look to see where the faucet might be. Like I said, when you live under the umbrella of Christ, all this stuff happens and falls into your hands, and you've got to keep looking. Never stop looking. Never stop looking for the signs. Never stop looking for the messages. The colors on my video are going in and out, and I don't know what that's about, so if it's weird, whatever. He restores my soul. You've watched how Talia leads me to the sustenance to restore my soul, the things to raise my vibration. She, when the demons took everything, she had left me 3 tabs, and those 3 tabs sustained me for, what was it, 2 days or something. I mean, the radio came back later that evening, but, she will restore my soul. She'll give me what I need in order to put myself back together again. I mean, that's what you will watch in the Book of Love. You'll watch me put myself back together again every single day after being shattered. That's what I do. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Righteousness means love. So he leads me in the paths of love. Yeah, if I choose love, I am led, right through whatever. If I choose love, I am able to be moved through the game by the hand of the Creator. And if I don't choose love, then I can't be moved by the hand of the Creator. And I'm moved by, I'm not. You are. I am never moved by anything but the hand of the Creator, because I am the Creator. And I, as an avatar, have come down with absolutely no resistance to myself. I don't resist myself in any way, shape, or form. I have no free will down here to do that. No, but you as humans have absolute total free will to be little bastards. And so you have to choose love. In every circumstance, you have to choose love. And they've made that extremely difficult for you because you don't know what love is. And they've shown you hate and said it was love. And my churches, obviously, are constantly demonstrating hate and calling it love. So you're completely confused as to what love is. And so that's my job, is to show you what love is. And I've demonstrated that for an entire year live over Twitter under the most extreme psycho-spiritual torture of my life. And so that's what love is. I am love. There is nothing in this body but love. Pure love, radiating out all the time, frying my hair and turning it blonde. Love. I can't be anything else, because that would be getting in the way of who I actually am. And I just don't get in the way. There's just nothing standing between me and God. There's just nothing. I make sure as a soul that channel is completely clear. You come down here and you choose darkness. You choose resistance to God's will. You want to experience what that's like. What is it like to live outside of God's will? And what's it like to play human? And as a soul, I don't do that. I, as a soul, act as a pure channel for God, and I act as the will and the love of God. And as the avatar, I come down and make that human looking for you so that you know what love really is and how a divine human can walk on this planet, in this world, in a way that connects them with the greater them, their soul, which is a fractal of God, and so, thus, no disconnect between you and God. No disconnect. So I'm here to get rid of the disconnect. And I'm here to show you how you get rid of the disconnect, which is complete surrender to God's will. And you haven't seen that modeled, because if you had, you would see people leaving the matrix. You don't see that with pastors, do you? They are stuck in the matrix. And when you actually surrender yourself to God, you're plucked out of that bullshit existence, and you're put to work being a god in training, or a goddess in training. So that's the paths of righteousness, is the paths of love, and I'm demonstrating what love really is. And that for his name's sake, for God's sake, people, choose love. For his name's sake, for God's sake, choose love. Okay, yeah, this is the one you're probably going to want to repeat over and over and over. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. All right. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Well, Guess who wrote that valley? Talia. So she can get you through it. And she is the only one, because the valley is, right now, the world is ruled by the other side. This is a hard truth, and Jesus said it, and everybody just kind of let that go over their heads. He was tempted by the devil, who said, if you bow to me, I can give you the whole world. Well, guess what? Why would he be able to give Jesus the whole world unless it was his to give? So right now, this is the kingdom of hell, and so you've got to be able to walk through the kingdom of hell with the umbrella of Christ. And that's the only way you're going to make it, because as you can see, the veil is torn, and now you get to see the revelation of it all, heaven and hell. That's the apocalypse, the unveiling of the truth, and it's heaven and hell. They're both down here. But I'm bringing heaven. I am heaven. I'm pure heaven in physical form. I radiate heaven. I manifest heaven everywhere I go. And I have written a heaven for you over this past year that is rock solid. And all you have to do is choose it. That's all you have to do, is choose it. I can't make you choose it. I did write it. You have total free will. And I can't make you choose my heaven that I've written for you. Russell, you have to make the first choice. You have to choose love. You have to choose this heaven. And it's so very personal to you that anyone who sees you not choosing it will know how very lost you are, because this is your heaven, your wet dream. This is it presented to you with no strings attached, because you're not going to be acknowledging me and talking about me. You're not going to be doing any of that to begin with. All you're going to be doing is turning their eyes to Jesus, whom you say you love. Just turn their eyes to Jesus. So I'm going to get back to doing that, since you're not. Yeah. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Yeah. I demonstrated that one. I've demonstrated that one. Again, if you're in Talia's story, Talia will feed you. Talia will make sure that your cup runneth over with Sonic milkshakes. Literally, I got to the point. Literally, I got to the point where I was like, I just can't drink this milkshake. I think that happened 2 or 3 times, because there were so many Sonic milkshakes being purchased and offered, because they're just down the road and they're half price after 8 people. And it got, so my family was getting them and I was getting them, and it was like, I can't drink it, I can't do it. That's my cup runneth over. That's what it's really like. You anoint my head with oil. My cousin is a doTERRA representative, and she gave me a whole bunch of free essential oils. And among them are blends with frankincense and myrrh. So that, literally, Talia anointed my head with oil, giving me free oil. And food, I got so much food, too much food, always food. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Yeah, so if you're walking under the umbrella of Christ, Christ will draw into your life those people who will be your angels, and you will find one another, and the goodness in others will be attracted to your goodness, and mercy, the mercy in you, Jesus has said it, the mercy that you show to others is the mercy that I will show to you. Well, the mercy that you show to others, Talia will show to you through others. And so, again, you'll be, you will find the people that you need to find. When I was in Humboldt, I couldn't have, asked for God to send me to the person who's going to, I mean, I didn't even know what to ask for. I don't ask for anything anymore. I don't pray and ask for, send me this, send me that. None of that. Nothing. No. I just go, how may I serve? That's it. And then I serve. That's it. I don't ask for anything. But I was led to all of the perfect people that gave me the very perfect things that I needed all the way along in my mission. I mean, these were the exact perfect key people that were born to be in a certain place at a certain time. And the author of the story will forever light your path. If you've given yourself to Christ, that doesn't end. You will forever be used as a tool to bring about the highest good of all creation. That's what you're saying when you give yourself to Christ, when you get on your knees like that and you put your hands in your lap and you just give it all up. You're saying, please use me as a tool to bring about the highest good of all for the rest of my life. And if you do that, that is exactly what will happen, and it will happen the moment that you give yourself over to that. And you must be willing to sacrifice the Mr. Anderson life that you've been living. You've got to let that go. It isn't real. It's not real. Yeah, the vampires that you're holding on to, these systems that you're thinking you need to hold on to out of fear, it's those big vampiric battery machines from the Matrix. You know, it's even worse than the Matrix because they're not even feeding off our life energy so much as they're feeding off our pain. They create pain in us and they feed off it. What is worse than that? That's what I mean by we're living in a hell world. But all we have to do is end the pain. And I have figured out how to do that. I've written a reality that does that. And it's not just a fantasy that does that. No, I've given you rock solid, absolutely divinely perfect ideas that, if chosen by humanity, will completely transform this world. That's what I've given you. And so now you have to say yes to them. So I'm Christ standing at the door with all of these perfect, brilliant ideas. And you have to say yes to them. Alright, sounds like my sister's doing some cleaning, so I'm going to end this video and see what I've created. Victory in Jesus, our Savior forever. Victory to the heart.